spirit, sky, matter, paint, earth, spirit, sky, water, earth, spirit, matter, paint, and culture.
So in a way there is so much hope, because as much as we pollute and spoil, we are more made of God than anything else, if you want to put it that way. We're more made of life and universe. You know, we're creating our potential futures by what we say, how we act, how we dream, and how we manifest language to form those dreams. You've got to have the spark of imagination and perhaps pain and suffering to want to go underneath the envelope of whatever self is. Goes back to that earlier conversation I was having in the car, that the way we live is creating a soul. I'm looking up.
Well,
does it matter?
What happens if no one sees what you're making?
Water, earth, spirit, sky, matter, paint, earth, spirit, sky, water, earth, spirit, matter, paint, and culture.
The job of being alive at all is to actually create a soul, rather than you get born with a soul. The job of living in the material world is to create a body of information that can constitute this etheric being.
See, receive, knowledge, aware as this magnificent moments,
Hypothesized by many teachers, but I've heard it from multiple sources in different ways, as a sort of proposition of spiritual development. We are creating ourselves through the act of how we take action in this life.
Dream the world as anyone's Genesis Habit, some new, redundant, trope through, base, adaptive, mimic, the deploy, perpetual art, lingual, identity, hormone, use,
Vaguely a landscape movie with a bit of human interaction, or are we on some kind of quest to find out where Governor Gray lived and to reach the heart of the colonial beast?
Well, the imperialist agenda of the globalist New World Order.
identity, crisis,
There still is very vortex wave, socialised conditions, the way it's structured, implants its culture. So how do you let's go to symmetry.
And the moon now guides me.
Harm,
for a moment,
on, threat, interrupted, I'm totally colonized by either your reactive reinforcements or the current magnetic attractor of the emotions in beauty, the dream and idea of making mesh up.
So the analogy of going on a journey on the water is sort of a psychic motif of going into the unconscious together as a pilgrimage, as a spiritual pilgrimage, and also into inner outer space. So I live in Grey Street, Port Chalmers, but now we are in Schoolhouse Bay, near Governor Gray's mansion. So given that there are some boat motifs in my series I'm showing you here at the gallery that we're all in, here we are on a boat. Isn't that a lovely and magical segue for the visual imagination?
The lost child soul retrieval, rival, dead noose, swinging, drug fucked brothers, in potential redeemed, potential vital pulses of planet, tangled earth of your vague intuited hope of something, your vague out of this conservative bourgeois something, art culture out of small-minded, dwindling bourgeois.
Cup of tea then. Anyway, Parthenon of light, eyes open wide, illuminated by fields of shifting brilliance. Averting my gaze to page breaks the eternal moment, flickering the 10,000 things my master echoed.
Collection small-minded, dwindling mid-class hoax of managed mediocrity and academic swank.
It's all about boundaries. On one level there aren't any. It's just energy. This cult of individual isn't the way culture used to be. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but the idea of me is not really relevant if we look at history from a, 500-year period, 1,000-year period, perhaps all of human history, 100,000-year period. The urgency behind a lot of my work is based on the way a civilization is terraforming the planet, Anthropocene, extinctions. We live in an age of mass extinctions. We really do have a transcendental interest in what it means to be alive as a human being. I think a lot about indigenous culture, meaning making. We seem to be insulated from needing to be subject to the earth. We think we own it, and it's just not true. So all indigenous people were part of an ecology, and they were owned by, they were subjects of the gods of nature. And our science model pretty much makes everything into an object, into a mechanism to be controlled and exploited. And I think this is basically a paradigm that needs to shift in order for any future generations to survive. How does my art come close to that kind of conversation?
A cup of tea then. A cup of tea.